Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Live Science Show. My name is Abdullah Kharsani and today we are back at the energy exhibit at our headquarters with a new topic to talk about. Today I'm going to talk about what is Aramco's practices and initiatives when it comes to protecting our environment by minimizing the damage to it. And since this planet is a home for all of us, I also want to talk about how can we take part of this great initiative by joining forces and try to protect our planet and maybe just become an example for future generations so they can follow our footsteps. So why today I want to talk about the environment? Why not? I mean, we have such a beautiful planet. Our rivers, icy mountains and lakes and forests, all of these things are a precious gift on this planet. And all what we have to do is just try to preserve it for as much as we can. So that's why today I want to talk about how can we protect our environment, because I don't know if you guys know, our planet is facing a huge problem right now with the climate change and the global warming, and just delaying this problem would be very disastrous for future generations. That's why today I want to talk about what are practices that we can do, maybe changing our daily behavior so we can be more eco-friendly and try to impact our environment in a positive way. So before I show you what is Aramco's practices when it comes to protecting our environment, I want to share with you what is the 4 principal solution that is Aramco trying to achieve to protect our environment and to have a sustained energy balance. So the 4 principles, we start with the maximizing our energy resources, and the second one is to reduce our consumption of energy. The third one is try to develop a new alternative energy, green energy, to try to minimize the damage to the environment. And the last one, we try to protect our planet by minimizing the damage to it. So let's go to this part of the zone, which is the impact of energy, and discuss what are the practices that Aramco does when it comes to protecting our environment. So this is the part of the zone which talks about the commitment to our environment. And we have a couple of practices over here. As you can see, we have plenty of these practices that we have. We have too many examples. But today I'm going to talk about a few of them so you guys can have a clear image about how can we actually start to protect our environment. So today I want to talk about the first thing, our marine mammals. Boarding each side of our beautiful land, we have our 2 sea sisters. We have the Red Sea and we have the Arabian Gulf. And it's a home for many animals. So Aramco tries its best to protect and monitor these animals and create a healthy environment for them. Another thing that the company does, they always try to have beach cleanup days, sponsoring beach cleanup days. And this is a very good opportunity where communities, they come together and work together for a greater cause. Also, what do we have? We have reef communities. Aramco's always tried to build an underwater structure. Basically, it's an artificial reef system. In order, a lot of sea creatures and animals, they actually depend on. And I don't know if you guys saw the picture. I mean, sometimes you would see under the water a very modern structure. It's really fascinating to look at them. What else do we have in here? We have oil spill responses. I mean, oil spill responses have been a big problem in the past couple of years. Aramco really cares about that. So they always have a ready team, always go and try to clean it as quick as possible, because the quicker the response, the better is to avoid environmental disasters. Also, the last thing I want to talk about restoring mangrove trees. Here we have a replica at this zone, a replica of the mangrove tree. This is the one right here. I mean, it's a very beautiful tree. This tree is actually one of the most eco-friendly tree that can actually grow in a salty environment. It creates a healthy environment for tiny creatures, for example, shrimp, crabs, and fish, and also in some cases, nesting ground for birds as well. So, and the former energy minister, with the help of thousands of volunteers, they helped plant millions and millions of these trees along the Gulf Coast. And scientists are telling us that the oxygen that is being produced by these, oxygen that is being produced of 2 million of these trees can actually compensate of 800,000 cars of the carbon dioxide that is coming out of 800,000 cars. And that really makes a huge difference, because as we know that car emissions are the #1 cause of global warming. And as you can see, I've just talked about all of these initiatives and practices that Aramco is trying to make, because at the end of the day, we know that extracting fuel and using fossil fuel has a negative impact to the environment. So Aramco as a company does, as a social responsibility, always try to protect our environment by either by developing a new green energy or just simply try to preserve and clean and protect our lovely planet. Now I'm going to move on and talk about what are the things that we can actually do, me and you, individually or collectively, when it comes to protecting our environment in a good way, okay? So, thank you. First, I want to talk about what are the things that we can actually follow simply at home to try to protect our planet, either by conserving energy or just simply cleaning up our planet. Now I'm gonna mention a couple of rules today with you guys, and it's very easy to actually exercise this back at home. Okay, so first I want to talk about the 3R principle that we have. So what do I mean by the 3R principle? Recycle and reuse and reduce. So recycle, let's always try to recycle as much as we can. It's very easy to do. So let's try to have at least a recycle bin at home so we can learn how to use it, so it can be very easily if we had to use it outside of the house. And the second R, which is reuse. Instead of throwing some of the material away, let's try to reuse some of the materials that we have in our home. I'm pretty sure that you guys have great minds. You can create an art form with these materials, and I'm pretty sure that you guys can be creative and create something very beautiful out of them. And the last R that we have, which is reduce. Just simply reduce the amount of energy that, or amount of electricity that we are using on a daily basis. For example, let's turn off the light whenever we leave the room. Or for example, let's turn off the TV if nobody is using it. Also, let's reduce the amount of water that we are using every day. So it's very simple, the 3R rules: recycle, reuse, and reduce. The second rule that we have, which is try to volunteer. You can take part and volunteer in your community. You can you can get involved personally into protecting our planet. And as I discussed before at the Aramco Beach Cleanup Days, I'm going to share with you the link later on about how can you participate in the next Beach Cleanup Day when it happens. I mean, it's a great opportunity for us to join forces together and work for a greater cause. So we got the first one, which is the 3Rs, and then the second one is to volunteer. The third one that we have, which is educate. Let's try to understand the problem a little bit more, and let's try to educate ourselves with it. And whenever we have new information, let's try to tell other people about it and share the information, because as we know, raising awareness about the issue really help us to fight the battle against pollution and global warming and climate change. And then let's try to conserve water. Let's take less time in the shower. For example, instead of staying 10 to 15 minutes, maybe singing in the shower, let's try to minimize that. Let's cut it into 3 minutes. For example, by using the washing machine, instead of everybody's washing his own clothes, let's try to gather and make a time where all of the family, they come together and wash our clothes together. That way we can conserve less energy by using electricity and less water to use. The next one that we have, which is shop wisely. Let's try to buy less plastic material. For example, whenever we go to the supermarket, they would give us this plastic bags that we use. I mean, let's try to buy ourselves a cloth bag where we can use it every time we go shopping. You can buy one for you and one for each your family member as well. So, as I said, let's try to buy less plastic. The last one that we have, plant a tree. I mean, it doesn't have to be a huge tree or a big one, even if it was a small one, because as I said before, any small initiative can make a huge difference. So these are the simple tips that I provided you guys with today, can really help us to conserve energy and try to conserve energy and be more eco-friendly. And so why I emphasize today about conserving more energy? Because the less energy that we use, the less emissions that is being, the less energy that we use, which means the less emissions, which means less pollution. And as we know that pollution is the #1 problem that is really causing global warming and climate change as well. So now, after providing all of these tips and talking about the environment, I'm gonna move on to the discussion part, which is the Q&A part. And I'm going to start accepting questions about our today's topic. And I've heard today that we have actually a couple of callers. I want us to start with the first one that we have today. Okay. So who's going to be our first caller? Just to recap what I just talked about today, I just talked about what is Aramco's practices and initiatives when it comes to protecting our environment. And today I provided a lot of tips about how can we actually be more eco-friendly and more conserving when it comes to energy saving and reducing the amount of electricity that we actually use. And I guess we have a caller right now. Hello. Hello. Hello, welcome to the show. I guess we're having some communicating problem. Okay, so do we have a second caller? Hello.
Hello? Yeah, hi.
Hello, hi, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi, you want to tell us your name?
Hi, my name is Ali and I'm 11 years old.
Hello, Ali. Thank you for participating. Welcome to the show. Nice to meet you. Ali, do you have a question for us today?
Yes. What is the most harmful maybe, thing that humans are doing to our Earth?
Okay, thank you for asking that question. That is very specific, but I mean, if I had to think of something right now, as we know that the most precious thing that we have here in planet Earth are our trees. And I'm guessing that the worst thing that we are actually doing is chopping down a lot of the forests that we have. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why do we actually chop down forests. I mean, just to create space for buildings or for agriculture reasons. But as you know, the wood, it goes to the manufacture of a lot of things that we actually make and produce that we use in our daily life. And just an example for that, papers are actually made of wood. So I would advise, a personal advice would that you would start shopping for recycled papers. So that would like cut the amount of trees being chopped. Yani. But thank you for asking that question. Yeah, we should raise awareness more about this issue as well. But Ali, in a personal note, you love our environment, yes?
Yes.
Okay, because can you tell us like if you participate or did anything that has actually have a positive impact to our environment?
I haven't really been involved in anything, but I do try to take some small steps at home, maybe by closing the lights or closing the devices that I don't need.
That's amazing. I mean, you're conserving energy. And you haven't even started yet, but it's not too late. I mean, you can always get involved. Like whenever there is something, for example, any kind of volunteering that you would do. I mean, as I said before, any small initiatives can make a huge difference, Ali. But I think you already started, Ali. Thank you so much. Do you have another question for us today, Ali?
Yes. What uses more energy? Would it be a washing machine or a hair dryer?
Okay, that is a tough question. I'm guessing washing machine because the hair dryer uses a lot of heat, and I'm pretty sure that whenever that we have to use a lot of heat, that means that we have to use more energy. So I'm guessing that washing machine is less energy consumption than the hair dryer. But thanks for asking that question.
Thank you.
Do you have another question for us, Ali, today?
No, I think that's it.
Thank you so much for participating, Ali. Thank you so much.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate it. I'm pretty sure that a lot of the audience really benefited from the question that you asked today. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.
Bye.
That was some awesome question from Ali. I mean, and also this question also raises, I mean, a lot of awareness about a lot of the things that we actually face when it comes to the issue to our environment. Do we have a second caller today? Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to the show. You want to tell us your name?
My name's Diane. I'm 10 years old.
Your name is?
Bye.
Oh, Dai, nice to meet you, Dai. Thank you so much for calling in today. So Dai, just before you start with the question, just on a personal note, I'm pretty sure that you love our environment. That's why you participated with us today. But do you do actually any kind of practices, or do you exercise any kind of eco-friendly that would actually really help impact our environment?
I like at home. I recycle when I can.
Recycle, great. Okay. Do you have a recycle bin at your house?
No.
I mean, it's really good that you would have like some in the house, because you would get your family, all of your family involved and help you recycle as well. But that's amazing. That's a great start for you to recycle. But as I said, it's not too late even to do something a little bit more. So do you have a question for us today, Lay?
Yeah. Is bottled water bad for us?
Bottled water are bad for us. Beautiful question. The water itself is not that bad, but the plastic bottles, I mean, we always try to reduce the amount of plastic that we buy every day. I mean, because we need to, I mean, care about a lot of things, because as we know that most of the plastic waste actually maybe end up in the ocean. That's why we always try our best to reduce the amount of plastic that we buy. So I would really suggest whenever you go buy maybe a bottle of water, make sure that it has a PLA sign, which means that it's a vegetable-based material, plastic, and it's easy to be dissolved. And but yeah, normally let's try our best to buy green plastic bottles. But thanks for asking that question. A lot of people did not know about the PLA thing, but I guess now they know. Thanks for asking that question, Day. Do you have another question for us?
Yes. What uses more energy, a quick shower or a quick bath?
Okay, how about I'm gonna let you answer that. Not less energy, but which one of them maybe used less water? Is that what you mean? Okay, to answer that question, I guess a quick shower would be better than a bath, because as you know that in order to have a bath, you would have this huge amount of water, and we always try to use less water, just reduce the amount of electricity that we use, the energy that we use, and the amount of water that we actually use. So I'm guessing to answer for your question, a quick shower is better than having a bath, to be just more eco-friendly. Thank you so much, Dave, for asking that question. Do you have another question for us today?
No.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for participating again. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
Do we have another caller? Hello. Hello. Hello, hi. I guess we're having some technical difficulties. So I guess that'll be it about our discussion part today. I just want to recap before I end the show. Today I talked about, I mean, just in general about the practices about that Aramco does in order to protect our environment. I mean, that's great when it comes to social responsibility, and they're taking lead of that. And also I talked about how can me and you take part of this great cause and try to change our daily behavior to be more eco-friendly and saving more energy as well. Because as I said, our planet is facing a very huge problem right now with the climate change and global warming. And just to recap, what is climate change and global warming? Let me talk and define each one of them, and then I'm going to see if they have something in common. First of all, global warming is the increase in the rise of the temperature of the planet Earth over a long period of time. And the main cause of that, the rise of the temperature, is mainly because of human activity and because of the pollution that we actually cause. But on the other hand, climate change is the changes of weather in some parts of the world in a long period of time. But here's the thing, climate change is actually a natural thing that happens. I mean, 2.5 million years ago, we used to live in an ice age. And right now, we live in a desert environment, as you can see. But scientists are telling us that human activity and the pollution that we actually cause can accelerate this process, and it could be very disastrous for some parts of the world. For example, the climate change is causing the North Pole and the South Pole for the ice to melt, and that is increasing the level of the seas, the levels of the water of the earth. And it could be very disastrous for some parts of the world. For example, it causes tsunami and other of great problems. But they have something in common. They all, they are being affected by human activity and the pollution that we actually cause, and we always try to minimize that. And we have to really set an example for future generations so they can actually follow our footsteps. I mean, it's a problem that it has to be dealt right now. So, to conclude today's show, I just want to say, guys, thank you so much, guys, for listening today, and I hope that you guys really learned a lot from today's show. I just really wanted to talk about the environment because, as I said, I don't want to delay this problem, and I want us to start this movement even after this. Even I said that later on I'm going to share with you the link of how to participate in Aramco beach cleanups, and it's going to be a great opportunity for all of us to come and join forces and try to protect our planet. I hope you guys really learned a lot from today's show and benefited a lot. Please, guys, if you have any other questions about today's topic, please write down in the comment section. Please, even the person that I couldn't hear her voice, please, if you have any questions, please write it down in the comment section. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. My name is Abdullah Khirsani, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much.